Today we went to a funeral. A very dear friend that we go to church with passed away, and it was a beautiful funeral. Very special lady. While I was there, and just talking to different people after the funeral, there was a lady that came up and told me that she loves watching our videos, and I thanked her and everything, told her how sweet that was, and I appreciated her, just like we appreciate all of y'all that take the time to tune in and watch us. It means the world to us. She said, she said, I watched one, I think she said yesterday or last night or sometime. She said, I just sit down and turned it on. She said, you were just sitting in front of the camera just talking to us. And she said, I really like those videos. And I thought about that afterwards, and I thought, there's a lot of y'all that tell me that y'all love when we just sit down and chit chat with you. We don't always have a lot to say, but it's just mainly everyday life, I guess. But I'm fixing to be gone for several days, so I wanted to put something out there to y'all. So I'm out here late in the garden, and usually when I do my watering, I do it in the mornings, but I've been very busy today, so I didn't get out here till late. Now I've still got little seedlings and seeds coming up, so I make sure that I water every single day, because that does help the germination of the seeds. We don't have a lot of rain here right now, so every day it's just coming out and watering everything. Now I do have 2 rain barrels that we use. One of them's already empty. We've not had much rain, and the other one's probably a little less than half full. So I've been using the well water, and if you let your hose heat up during the day, most of the water that comes out will stay pretty warm. If you're not, you have to watch it though, because sometimes if it's very hot, it'll come out scalding hot. So I have to really be careful with that. So I've got everything watered right now that's just trying to come up and getting things taken care of, because I will be gone for a few days. Danny will be here, but I'll be gone. And I just thought I'd get on here and just do a little chit chat with y'all. Yeah, gardening season is really perking up, and I planted a lot of stuff from seeds, so it's coming up kind of slow. But here where we live, you're liable to have warm days and then really cold nights, so that doesn't help the temperature of the soil. Your soil has to be a certain temperature to really start germinating seeds. But I do have a lot coming up. So, and also, I do have, if y'all seen in my other gardening videos, that I use tulle, T-U-L-L-E, over my brassicas, my cabbages, and my cold crops. I had to put tulle over them to keep the bugs and insects off of them, and it also helps to keep other varmints out of there too. So I cover it up, and I got little fences around my beds, covered it with tulle, and then I've also got a little bit of a shade cloth over them, because it does get pretty warm. The sun shines down pretty good during the day, and I don't want my my brassicas and stuff to, even stuff like lettuces and my kale and stuff like that, I don't want them to bolt too quickly. So I'm going to keep a shade cloth over them. And my shade cloth I usually just buy off Amazon. You can get it at Walmart, anything like that. When it rains, it does go through the shade cloth and the tulle. And it does a really good job of keeping the direct sun from just beating down on your cold weather crops. They need a certain amount of sunshine, but they can't have too many hours all day long because they will start to bolt too soon. So I do have shade cloth over them. As far as anything else, it's too early right now to plant anything, but in a couple of weeks, the soil should be starting to get warm enough to start planting bean seeds and stuff like that. Because our hot weather vegetables like our squash and our corn and all that, the okra, it all comes off later because it likes hot weather. It likes summertime weather. So we don't get in a huge hurry for stuff like that because they just don't do well. And a lot of times you'll find yourself out here trying to cover everything up because of frost that you did not expect. So we try not to get in too big of a hurry. I want to talk about companion planting. Now, companion planting, you'll see that all over YouTube. Some like it, some don't. Some are pretty opinionated about it. And, you know, I have this philosophy that if it works for you, do it. One person can say that something doesn't work because a lot of times you'll see where they say, don't do this, don't plant this way again. This is the wrong way, don't do this. I don't listen to that. I have always, when you've been planting a garden for over 30 years or more, you know what works for you. And the same goes for you too. As far as what they call companion planting, I don't even call it that. I just know that when I put in my raised beds and I plant certain vegetables in there, I also plant certain herbs and flowers in there. Now you can get on and you can look it up and they're going to tell you all kinds of stuff. And some of it is true. But if you've been doing something for so many years and it works, if you've been planting a certain vegetable with a certain herb and a certain flower and it works for you, keep doing it. Like I said, some things work for some people, and just keep on trucking if it's working for you is what I say. My raised beds will have certain vegetables in them, and as time goes on, I will be planting them and showing y'all exactly what I plant with them. I will be planting tomatoes out in the big garden, but I will also have a couple of what I call our cherry tomatoes or patio tomatoes, what we call them here, in my raised beds. And I will have them trellised, but also in that bed I'm going to have different herbs and flowers with them. They tell you not to plant this certain vegetable with this certain vegetable. I will be planting a couple of cucumber plants in the same bed, not right up against the tomatoes, so they don't fight for the same nutrition and all that. But the thing of it is, there comes a certain point, especially in the summertime, that you need to fertilize more than you would when you started out. I know somebody that raises vegetables and flowers and sells them. He does it for selling, so he does a lot. And he is set up on some kind of irrigation thing that fertilizes his flowers and his vegetables every single day. Every day they get fertilizer plus water. And he has beautiful big flower pots, and he raises a lot of vegetables. So you just have to know that ratio. And of course you can Google it, you can look on the back of your fertilized bag or box or whatever, and you can figure this out, how much per gallon of water. Raised beds do take extra time in your watering. So if you have an irrigation system set up, that's wonderful to go through your raised beds. But you also need to fertilize. My choice of fertilizer during the summer, really the hot part of the summer, is fish emulsion. It does a wonderful job. And the main thing is it won't burn your plants up. So I use a lot, when I'm starting out in the spring, I use a lot of bone meal, blood meal, and worm castings is what I use to put in my beds as I start out in the spring. And as time goes on and my plants are bigger, they're getting at least 6 inches tall, and putting on several leaves, I will start fertilizing with fish emulsion. In my tomato bed, I will be planting, like I said, different herbs with my tomato plants. I will be putting in basil for sure, and I will plant basil all around my tomato plant. I feel like the basil, there's certain insects and bugs and even rodents that don't like the smell of basil, so it does help. And they say it even makes your tomatoes sweeter. So I don't know about that. I just know that it's always worked for me. Also in that bed, I'll be planting thyme. I've got even, right now, I've even got 2 cabbage plants in there. And I've got a comfrey plant, but I've got it loaded with all kinds of zinnias and I don't know what all. I think it's wildflowers that I just loaded it down. That's why I come out here and I just water every day, and the seeds are really coming up. The flowers, I hope, are going to be so beautiful. But they're also going to help with pollinators, to bring them pollinators in. So when we brought the beds in, and the first thing I done when I finally got my compost and stuff put in there, now in the bottom of my beds there is a layer of certain wood chips and just tons of leaves and just stuff like that before I put my soil and then the compost and stuff. But the first thing I done was to just throw thousands of flower seeds in every bed, except for the bed that my corn's going in, because that, not only do a lot of insects and stuff not like certain flowers, and we all know that, especially calendula and stuff like that, it's going to bring in pollinators, and that's what we want. So I don't get on that bandwagon of you can only plant certain things with certain things. I do know one thing. I've never had luck planting sunflowers with other things, because sunflowers have something in them that goes in the stalk that will go into the ground, and there's something in there that will absolutely kill plants. So you have to be careful planting sunflowers with certain plants, I guess. I have learned that one. But that's the only one that I really know of. Later on, as it really starts warming up and it's time to plant corn here in Arkansas, I will be doing a Three Sisters garden bed. And some of y'all have asked me what that is. And when I do that, I will tell you the story of the Three Sister planting. That is corn, it is pole beans, and some kind of squash, or pumpkins or squash, whichever you decide. Like butternut squash or something that's going to fill the space underneath, and cover the soil to keep it from drying out, keep it moist. And so any kind of squash, any kind of maybe pumpkin you'd want to plant under there is what works. But when we go to doing that, I will do a video just on that, because a lot of y'all didn't know about the Three Sister planting. And I want to do that for the kids too. Now I have a bed right now that's not got much in it because I'm waiting. It's going to be just for my yellow crooked neck squash. That's all I want in that bed, besides maybe a few herbs and it's got flower seeds in it, so it'll be full flowers. But that's all that I want in that bed. I don't want it to have to compete or anything. I had to keep it fertilized really good to have a good crop of yellow squash, which we absolutely love. And as summertime goes on, we will plant okra out in the big garden. Okra loves hot, dry weather. That's what I have found works best for me here on my hill, or any time that I've ever planted it. That's just the kind of weather it likes. So it doesn't really do much good to try to plant it early. It loves it really, really dry and hot weather. I've got a little bird down here getting a drink out of my little water fountain. The birds are thirsty. So sweet. It's good to know that when you do these things, just like out in this little garden, my raised bed garden, I don't want it just for flowers and herbs and stuff, but I want it for the birds and the hummingbirds and the bees. And so seeing this, I think it may be what Danny calls a peewee. I'm not sure. But she's awful thirsty. So it makes me feel good. There she goes. It makes me feel good that they're coming in and using my little tiny pond in there. But anyways, I'm trying to think. The cabbage is looking really good. I got it started early enough. Cabbage is certainly a cold weather crop, and so is your broccoli, your cauliflower, and your Brussels sprouts. And mine are getting tall enough now that I will start fertilizing them. Of course, I've also got carrots and all kinds of lettuces and spinach and kale and Swiss chard and all kinds of chives growing everywhere. So as time goes on, you'll really see the beds fill out really pretty. But I've still got a lot of planting to do, so we're just starting. My biggest thrill is to go to the garden centers when they're, when it's all brand new and they're just putting new stuff out, all the new, herbs and just flowers and just all kinds of stuff. I could just go in there just like I do. I think I actually like it better than the flea markets. I know, can you believe that? But I can just take my time and just look through everything. And so I'm really excited about my raised beds this year because I am taking a different approach to it. The big garden out here, we're going to let some of it just go. We're going to cover some of it up and let it go dormant. We're not planting anything in some of the rows that we always, like the rows that we always planted potatoes in. We're thinking about planting clover in the rows and putting that cover crop in there and just letting it be this summer. Don't plant nothing in there till next summer. It just needs to rest. It needs to rest a little bit. So that's probably what we're going to do. But in the big garden I do have my sweet green peas are coming up. I was really having a hard time with that because I think I either had a squirrel or a rat. When you live out in the country, you've got barns and stuff around you, you've got rats that was digging my peas up. But some of them ended up coming up, thank goodness, because I planted them pretty heavy. And as of right now, they're doing pretty good. They've come up and they're going to start up that trellis, I hope. So this is what I'll have in the big garden this year. The green peas to start out with. Of course, once hot weather gets here, they will be done. But I can replant them for the fall. You can replant your green peas. I said here it'd be about the middle of August, and you can have them into fall. I will have okra. I've got onions out there right now that are growing, and I've got several mullein plants. Now my mullein comes up free bird by itself because we let them go to seed, and of course the seed hits the ground, and so we got more mullein coming up. We do believe in the mullein plant. That's one of our number one medicinal plants is the mullein plant. And and they grow everywhere here in Arkansas, pretty much. So if you can get you some mullein seeds, I do know that there's several different places that do sell mullein seeds. I did have some, but I'm totally out of them right now. Survival Seeds, that company does sell mullein seeds. Now they may be out right now, sometimes you have to check. So let's see, big garden. Oh, I am going to have some big containers out there that will have cabbage all the way down through there too. So I'm only going to plant just a few potatoes this year because I still have potatoes left over from last year that I canned and mainly froze. So, but I do want some fresh potatoes for sure. So things will be a little bit different. I am planting more fruit. I have ordered another fig tree and another cherry tree because my big cherry tree has yet to put any cherries out. Now it's only going on, I think, 4 years old, and it's really healthy and doing good, but it's not. I think it produced 2 cherries last spring, and that was it, and it would be full of bees, y'all. It would bloom so beautiful and the bees would just be all over it, but I only got 2 cherries. So I'm planting another cherry tree, and there's a plum tree, 2 apples, 2 fig trees, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, and currants. Currants is a new thing for me. I finally found some beautiful currant plants at Leona's garden just outside of Cave City, and I grabbed me 2 of them. In fact, if I go back and she's even got any left, I want to get one more because they're already doing so good, and one of them's even blooming, and it's not but maybe 12 inches tall and it's already blooming. So anyways, I want to do that. And yeah, just time goes on, we'll just see the whole garden just starting to come alive and really fill out. And I'm still working on so many things. Like I've told y'all in my past, that my garden is my canvas, and I like to make it beautiful. It's a place where I find peace, where I can come out and sit, put my hands in the dirt, be alone, and you know, all of creation started in the garden. So I think it's a place that the good Lord wants us to be. He knows it's where we'll find our peace of mind and just where everything started. So I feel like that's the way it's supposed to be. But anyways, I wanted to get on here, and I'm sure there's several things, other things that I'll probably want to discuss with y'all. But plant your garden, please. It's getting to where me and Danny can't take care of as big a garden as we used to, but we do plant plenty for us and the kids, so that's just what we have to do now. And so many of y'all are not able to take care of a big garden either, so always remember that you can take containers. Make sure that they're food grade containers. I want you, if y'all have ever watched Robbie and Gary gardening, I have been watching them forever. She is so much fun to watch, and she will tell you the ins and outs of how to plant in containers, what's good to plant in and what's not good to plant in. And she grows all year round. Hey, Hank. That's Hank. He's liable to knock my camera over. Let's see, Hank. There's Hank. Don't watch my camera, bub. But anyways, I just wanted to get on here and just talk to you for a little bit. And Hank's hitting my camera with his tail. Sit down, boy. You sit down. And tell y'all that I am going to be gone. So I wanted to get on here and just talk to you for a little bit. My hair looks pretty wild. That's what happens when you've been out in the wind a little bit, though. I am an affiliate with Survival Garden Seeds. They are a wonderful seed company, and I always have my link down below in the description box and it has a code with it that should get you maybe a little bit of a savings. Not sure what's going on now. If something happens that you can't go to it, just let me know. Sometimes they have to change the links. If you've had them very long, they have to change them, stuff like that. But I do love Survival Seed Company. So you can tell it's starting to get dusky dark. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get things cleaned up, get my dishes washed, and get my suitcase packed. And I'm going to a Christian ladies retreat in Branson this weekend. So I'm going with my two daughters, and then my daughter-in-law will be there, one of my daughter-in-laws, and I'm going to enjoy myself. So I just want to get on here and talk to you. And I want to thank y'all for all the gifts that y'all send us, all the cards. I'm still getting cards and recipe books. Sit, Hank, sit. There you go. There's a big dog. You knocked my camera over. Such sweet cards. I got one in the mail today. I mean, she took the time to cut me some really good recipes out of probably a magazine and sent me a kind of a little devotional and stuff. Thank you very much. Thank you all for all the old recipe books and for all the handmade gifts you send me. The homemade cards you take the time to make to send me. Just everything. All the beautiful comments and everything that y'all do. You're a beautiful community, and we love y'all so much. And we're all going to be busy, aren't we? It's just that time of year. So we'll see y'all in a few days. When I get back home, maybe we'll search for a couple of cooking for two recipes and do some of them. Who knows? We'll get Mr. Brown back in the kitchen, won't we? So God bless everybody. I want y'all to be safe, have a beautiful weekend, and we will see y'all in a few days. Bye-bye, everybody. Hank's shaking my hand. Are you shaking my hand? You're a good boy. Yes, you are. Look here. You tell everybody bye. Yes. Kids out on the road. Kids out on the road making noises, aren't they? You just can't get deep enough in the country. You still got noises, don't you?